Welcome to 6-8, percent of change. Our two objectives are to find the percent increase and the decrease. Before we begin, let's go over the three key terms. Percent of change tells the percent an amount has increased or decreased in relation to the original amount. And then we have percent of increase, and the other is percent of decrease. These go hand in hand. I know that I have a percent of increase in my problem, or that it is a positive when the new amount compared to the old amount is greater. And when we do that, we write increase in our answer, or making sure that I put a plus or a positive sign in my answer to represent the percent of increase. Percent of decrease, the old amount is greater in percent of decrease when compared to the new amount, and instead of writing increase, we write the word decrease, and we don't use a plus, we use a negative. In this slide you see the formula. What we do is we take the new price and subtract it from the old price, and we always, our denominator is the old price, then we multiply it by 100. That represents the formula for the increase. Percent decrease is the old price minus the new price. Once again, the denominator is always the same. We divide, then multiply it by 100 to find the percent. Alright, in this slide it says find the percent of change from 56 inches to 63 inches. And you can see I have written out the formula. Let's see here. The two things we have are 56 inches. Well, that's our old. And we're going to compare it to our new, which is 63 inches. So if my new is greater than my old, I have an increase. So I want to make sure I write that out so I know that I have an increase. My answer should be positive. So I'm just going to go ahead and take 63 minus 56. That answer is 7. Alright, I'll put that in my numerator. My original amount, or my old amount, was 56. Now all I have to do is divide, and when I do divide I get 0.125, and then I'm going to multiply that by 100, which, if you don't remember from previous slides, basically means that I am moving the decimal 2 places to the right, 12.5, and when I do move the decimal 2 places, or multiply by 100, it changes my answer to a percent, and I'm going to write the word increase to remind everyone that this is a 12.5% increase. There's your answer. You can see here from 25 centimeters to 36 centimeters. 25 is my old, 36 is my new. My new is much larger than the old, so it must be an increase. So I'm going to write that out first so I don't forget it. It's an increase. I'm going to go ahead and put 36 first and subtract to find the difference. 36 minus 25 is 11. I am going to take that 11, put it in my numerator. My denominator is always the old number, 25. I'll take out my calculator. I will divide 11 by 25. I get 0.44. I am going to multiply by 100. And what does that mean? That means I move the decimal 2 places to the right. So my answer is 44. Percent increase, I want to make sure I put the percent sign so everyone knows that. And I'll write the word increase, because it's definitely wanted in the directions. Alright, in this slide we are once again finding the percent of change. We're also going to make sure that we round, if necessary, to the 10th place. And we're also going to make sure that our answer states increase or decrease. And the problem is from $289 to $762. My old and my new, comparing them, my new is larger, so I know I have an increase. So I'll write that because that's part of my answer. I'll leave it there. Since my new is larger, I'll put that first. 762 subtracted from 289. That gives me an amount of 473. That 473 is my numerator. My denominator is always my old number, or the original, 289. And I'm going to take my calculator out, and I am going to round, or not write all of it out, because this number tends to repeat. I'm going to go ahead and multiply that by 100, because that's what the formula says, which basically means I'm just moving the decimal 2 places to the right. That gives me 163. I still have some numbers to contend with. There's my decimal. This 6 here, is it going to stay a 6? No, I'm going to round it to a 7 because it does say round all my answers if necessary to the 10th place. This is a percent change, so I'll put a percent sign. And my answer must include whether it's an increase or decrease, and we found out earlier that it's an increase. On this slide, same directions. Find the percent of change. Round to the 10th if necessary. Make sure our answer includes whether it's an increase or decrease. And the problem is from 50 pounds to 44 pounds. In this one, I noticed that when I'm comparing the old and new, the old is larger than the new, so we now have a decrease, which really doesn't change anything. We just put our largest number, 50, find the difference between that and our new. 50 minus 44 is 6. That gives me my numerator. My denominator will remain the old number, which is 50. I'll take my calculator and I will divide. I get 0.12. That answer needs to be multiplied by 100, or move the decimal 2 places to the right. That gives me 12. I'll add the percent sign, and I'll put decrease because that's what's asked of me in the problem. So we have a 12% decrease in this problem. Alright, in this slide you see find the percent of change. Round to the nearest tenth if necessary. Then state whether it's a change is a percent of increase or a percent of decrease, like we did in the previous problems. You might want to stop the video, do this one yourself, and when you're done, watch it and see if you get the same answer. You can see that comparing the old to the new is greater, so that means that's an increase. I put my new first because it's the largest. Find the difference between that and 365. The answer there is 56. 56 is my numerator. My denominator remains my old, or the original number. Took my calculator out. I got 0.1534. I'm going to times that by 100, or move the decimal 2 places to the right. It says to round if necessary to the 10th, which I did, which resulted in 15.3% increase. That is the final answer. Alright, we have here is a real world situation. One of the largest stock market drops on Wall Street occurred on October 19th, 1987. On this day, the stock market opened at 2,246.74 points and closed at 1,738.42 points. What was the percent of change? So let's go ahead and find out which one was the new and which one was the old and compare them. Well, the old number, or the start of the day, is the 2,246, and the old, or the end of the day, was 1,738. The old being larger means that we have a decrease. So my answer, I'm going to make sure that I write a decrease. It also follows that the word drop is in the problem, and drop corresponds to a decrease. The difference between the two, well, it is 500 508.32, so I'm going to use that as my 508.32 over the old 2,246.74. Calculator says, calculator gave me 0.226. I'm going to multiply that by 100, or move the decimal 2 places. I get 22.6% decrease. Stock market that day dropped 23%. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.